you're a doctor, and you obviously, a lot of these things are no new thing to you from a practitioner's point of view, but to be on the other side of that,
Right.
what changed about your impression about giving up from coming here?
Well, I mean, I don't know if anything changed per se, but it just reinforced the power of caring. And as I spoke earlier, you can develop the knowledge, you can develop the skills, but it's difficult to train empathy and compassion. And those can be just as powerful as anything else.
And that's just check. That's a good point. A lot of people say that empathy and these kind of human emotions play a lot in healthcare. You obviously agree with that. Can you just kind of elaborate about how that helped, how your lifting your spirits may have helped your overall health?
Well, certainly, like the example I gave with Dr. Jacobar, obviously very talented cardiothoracic heart transplant surgeon, takes a moment out of his day, more than just a moment, to kindly reassure my family that I'm going to be okay, explaining my diagnosis. Sometimes the look in someone's eye or the touch of their hand can be as powerful as anything else.
I read your essay and heard it here again about the 3 stars and this whole thing with your daughter. And though I'm sure you probably wouldn't say that you're glad you had a heart attack, it seems like it's changed your perspective on life. Would you agree with that?
Well, without a doubt. It's certainly been a life-changing event. All of us tend to burn the candle on both ends. And I had let my life get a little out of control as far as evening commitments, professional organizations, foundations, all of which are real important, but not at the expense of your family. And I've always thought that stress played a pretty big level in someone's health, and I think I'm living testament to that. So I would place no small value on trying to control the stress in one's life and smell the roses when you can.
And so how are you smelling the roses? What are you doing differently?
Well, I backed off on all those professional organizations that I was involved in. I gave a large part of my life to my country, serving in the Army. Gave a large part to organized dentistry and oral maxillofacial surgery. Let somebody else kind of pick up those chips for a little while and not try to save the world.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
55.
Same age. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives one pause.
It certainly does.
Because you seem like a healthy, fit guy, so you didn't see this coming.
Only in the sense that I thought that the stress in my life would eventually catch up with me. But no previous heart disease. I've run marathons. I'm in good shape. But anything can kind of happen out of the blue.
And so what's next for you? Obviously you seem to be spending more time with your family and putting more focus on that. What's the next adventure for Dr. Muse?
Let's see, I have a son who's in law school. I'm going to watch his graduation, hopefully next May. I plan to be around for that. Plan to watch my daughter graduate from the University of Georgia in about 3 or 4 years. Those are good enough goals.
And let me just ask you one last thing. To the staff that cared for you, and you'll get a chance to say this in person, but just so we have it recorded, what is the most important thing you can say to them, do you think?
Besides the words thank you for saving my life.
That's pretty important. I can't think of anything better than that.
Yeah, but I understand what you're asking me. But not only thank you, but as I said earlier, thank you is one thing to save someone's life. It's another thing to do it with kindness, compassion, caring, and empathy. So thank you for the time that they spent with me and my family.
It sounds like your expectation was almost that people would be sort of phoning it in or going through the motions. Is that what you see in the medical profession? I mean, you're in the industry, so is this a surprising amount of compassion and empathy here?
Well, I think Emory exceeded, and I knew that they would. I'm familiar with the hospital. I had other friends that were patients here. They exceeded all my expectations. But as we all know, that today's healthcare environment of managed care, where you have to frequently see more with less resources. Not that patients become numbers, but we're all human, and there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so many patients that we can treat. So to have people slow down in their busy lives, in stressful environments, where people are scared, and people die, and people live, but to be able to slow down and take the time to spend with patients, Emory goes above and beyond, without a doubt.
And you think that's critical for healthcare, as critical as the care itself?
Without a doubt. And I wouldn't be here talking today if I didn't think it was important. I wouldn't be here to say thank you. If Emory had, quote unquote, just saved my life and I was just another stat or number, I'd go on with things. But the way that they treated me, my staff, my friends, and my family, I can't say it enough. If I had $1 billion, I'd build you guys, I'd build you a new wing of this hospital. But I don't. I'm just going to watch my kids graduate and get on with their lives.
Well, you're an Emory graduate.
I am.
I saw that you went to the dental school, and they
I
had
did.
one here.
I did.
And you made a special call to, you told them to get you to Emory, and I just, right? I mean,
I did.
You could have gone to a closer hospital. Tell me a little bit about, and I promise this is the last.
That's fine. You can ask me whatever you want. Yeah.
So you could have gone to a closer hospital, and sometimes proximity is maybe the difference between life and death, but
Sure.
you gambled otherwise.
Right, it was a little bit of a gamble, but it was only a gamble of 5 or 10 minutes. I figured it was a chance worth taking, if you will. But Emory's got a great reputation. My internal medicine doctor's here. I have had other friends who've been patients here. I've seen the care that they've received. And again, the reputation, it's like, I want to go to the best of the best, even if it's a few more minutes away. And turned out to be the right call, I'd say.
I'd say so. Okay, well, thank you very much.
You bet, Aaron.
Checking
Yeah.
the story about the yearbook, so tell me about that part again.
For when you graduate from my high school, Woodward Academy, you can get a page in the back of the yearbook with pictures of yourself or of you and your friends and family over the course of your 18 years. You can also put in a quote. A lot of people quote Emerson or quote Shakespeare or something like that. But I knew from the moment that I was asked to make a page that I would put just the 3 stars and say, I love you more than all the stars, which would mean not only the world to me, but also to my father and our family. And
Well, it's a great story. And you went with your dad to the Grand Canyon, and
I did.
How was that?
Absolutely amazing. The weather, weirdly enough, rained 3 days, which usually doesn't happen along the Grand Canyon, but it was amazing. We got to hike up the side of the canyon, which was amazing for my dad to do because just a month or so earlier, he was in here, but he was most of the trip ahead of me. He was sitting on the front of the raft more than I did, taking the waves on. But we had a great time. Wanted to be out there forever, but knew we had to come back to the real world eventually.
So, aside and apart from the just terrifying aspects of this whole ordeal, it seems like it's changed the family and changed, in some ways, your relationship with each other.
Absolutely. We've always been really close with our parents, but I think through our struggles that we were going through here, it made us a lot stronger and even developed our relationship to even a greater extent. I think now my dad and my mom and my brother and I are all able to connect on an extreme level now because we've gone through so much pain, but we were able to heal together. So yeah, it was great. We're even closer.
Okay.